Hello Cruising World, Mick the Suit Guy with you. Today I'm going to talk to you about the exciting new Terrazza area on Carnival Venezia. I'm going to give you a tour of the whole area. I'm also going to add a video on the end of some of the cabins to give you an idea of what they look like. So it's going to be quite a long video in the middle, but at the end of it, it's going to be some cabin videos. Down the line, I will also be putting these individual cabin videos out. I put one a week out. I actually have cabins set to be released through July of next year. So I have a lot of cabin videos already set up. So they'll be coming out bit by bit. But at the end of this video, I'll show you some cabins, what they actually look like on board this ship in the Terrazza area. I'm also going to give you a full tour of the area and some of the extra things that they do, which I will explain to you right now. So what is the Terrazza area, you ask yourself? Well, it's very similar to the Havana area on the Vista class ships, not the Excel ships. The Excel ships, totally different ball game. I've got videos on the Havana area, on the Mardi Gras and on the celebration on my channel. You can look them up and see them separately. Whilst the cabins are somewhat the same, the area is as different can be. Good luck finding anybody that thinks the Havana area on the XL class ships, the Mardi Gras, the Jubilee and the celebration, well, Jubilee coming soon, and the celebration are better than the ones on the Vista. I don't think you'll find anybody that's been in both that will say that. The ones on the Vista class ships are so much better. These are very, very similar to those in shape and layout, but what's in the layout is incredibly different. So on the Vista class ships, and again, go on the Horizon, look up Horizon Havana on my channel, and you'll see a tour of the Havana area on the Vista class ships. They have like a pool in the middle with some like coverage seat areas and a couple of hot tubs on the outside of the pool. On the Terrazza, there's just two hot tubs, one on either side. There is no pool, but in the central area where all the stuff is on the Vista class ships, there's a lot of seats. At the back against the wall, there's two kind of mini cabanas on either side, which are really cool if you can get hold of one of those for the day, nice and relaxing. And lots of chairs in the front to sit and watch the sun go down. The Terrazza area is only for people 12 years old and over, so you get no kids out there. However, in the evening, after 7 o'clock, anybody's welcome. So the whole ship is welcome. I think if you have like some of the top suites, you also get access to this area, but don't worry about that. Still no kids. Private area, you need to have a wristband to get in, which will be in your room when you get on board. And all that good stuff. So a couple of other differences on the Terrazza, and I'm going to show these to you in the video over the Havana. Remember, Terrazza is going to be the Venezia and the Firenze, Havana, Vista, Horizon, Panorama. In the morning, every day until 10 a.m., there is a continental breakfast which is laid out on the bar. And there's a couple of big signs up saying wristbands only past this point because the bar is not technically open. And the bar will open later when people can come up to the bar. And they do, or at least on the Venezia when we were on, they enforced it really well. If people tried to come out there without wristbands, they were gotten rid of pretty damn quickly. So they do enforce that very well. One other thing that was a good and a bad thing, and I'll explain the bad. It's not terrible, but it's just a bit weird that they didn't do this. You also get a free brunch one time per cruise in the steakhouse, which is really cool. And I'm going to show you some pictures of the food we got on that. But they never let us know. We had to know about it ourselves. There was never a note or anything. Maybe that will change. But we did not ever get told, listen, you get this one time brunch in the steakhouse. So be aware of this if you don't get told about it, that it is there. But they only do it on a couple of sea days during the cruise. On a shorter cruise, it may only be on one sea day, I don't know. So as soon as you get on board, I would recommend going to the steakhouse and signing up for that brunch because it's very limited on what you can do. It starts like about 11, I think it runs through about 1. Food is really good and it's free. So, and again, I'll show you some pictures of that at the end. But yeah, we were never told about it. We knew about it. But there was never anything saying what you had to do to sign up for it. Again, that may be different now. They may have updated that problem because it was kind of, fairly new on the ship. But just be aware of that. So that's the main differences between the Vista and the Terrazza. So the Vista, the Havana and the Terrazza is the layout. Size-wise, it's the same. What's in it is very different. There's no continental breakfast on the Havanas that I'm aware of, and certainly no steakhouse brunch on the Havanas that I'm aware of that they have on the Terrazza. So, it's a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Another thing that I actually liked about the Havana over the Venezia was we were up on deck 6, and at the end of the ship there was actually a stairwell that led down to the back of deck 5, so we could just go straight down and out onto the Havana area. On the Venezia, it's important to know that that is not there. You have to walk back, down, through the bar and out that way. There is no side entrance at the bottom, which was very useful on the Havana areas, on the Horizon specifically where we stayed. We haven't done the Havana area on the Vista or the Panorama, although I have a 25-day coming up on the Panorama where we have a Havana Cabana. Woohoo! Looking forward to that. Anyways, there are the main differences. Let me show you a video of what the area looks like. I've also got some video of the buffet and some pictures of the brunch. And then, like I said, I'll show you some cabins after that. So enjoy the Terrazza area on Carnival Venezia. And this will, as I understand it, be identical on the Firenze. All right, let's take you around the Terrazza area on Carnival Venezia. You'll make your way in. This is in the morning for the continental breakfast. This area is for everybody, but you'll see that sign on the right. It says wristbands only beyond this point. And this is up till 10 a.m. every day, port day and sea day. You get your own continental breakfast, and this is what it will look like for you. So that's unique just to you. They were, at least when we were on board, very strict and very good about making sure wristbands only. So not everybody could just come up here. And now I'm going to walk you around the actual Terrazza area itself. We'll come outside here. The bar is on the right, just there. During the day up until 7 p.m., this is for Terrazza guests only. After that, everybody can actually come out here and check it out. But even then, it didn't really get that busy. And during the day, it never got that busy. There's so many chairs. You've got a couple of little cabana areas here, 2 on either side. If you can snag one of these for the day, even that one on the end there, and utilize it with the hot tub. Very nice, relaxing day ahead for you, I promise. On either side, this is the port side. You've got the Havana Cabana staterooms. You've got a couple of sunbeds and a hammock in each one. You see at the end there, there's a door that blocks you off walking around, so you cannot walk all the way through, so you don't get too much foot traffic. And we'll come back around. As you can see, plenty of seating. Nice way if you wanted to spend a good, relaxing day. And we'll come down here, more seating. I never saw this busy, except on embarkation day when we were going out past the Statue of Liberty. Then, yes, it was very busy. But a couple of clamshells. But yeah, during the day, you could come out here anytime and find yourself somewhere to sit, at least while I was on. You got umbrellas for shade. They keep it very clean. There's the rest of the Terrazza balcony cabins. All of those are Terrazzas. They even came around in the afternoon, gave you some frozen fruit in bowls every day. And now, so the opposite side, 2 more cabanas and the other hot tub. No pool, as you noticed, but this is what you get. And then this is the starboard side, Havana Cabana staterooms. The wind blocks right there. And again, if you look straight ahead, you'll see the door that closes it off, so nobody can walk all the way around. So you don't get too much foot traffic. Hammock and 2 sunbeds in every Havana Cabana. And then once we're finished with this, I'm going to show you some staterooms. I'm going to show you an interior, a Havana Cabana, an extended aft balcony, and a wraparound premium balcony, Vista premium balcony. So we'll show you those videos. That will also be individually on my channel in the coming months. But I spread them out. But you'll get an early access view to them all coming up. So that's the actual Terrazza area. Similar to the Havana in shape, but very different in layout. And the Havana on the Vista ships, not on the XL class, which is very, very different, as I explained earlier. So we're going to head back out. Again, this is a unique area. This area we're in right now is open for everybody. After 7 o'clock at night, then everybody can come out there. But up until then, only you and no children under 12 years old. As we look at some pictures, some stills, and then again, once I'm finished with this, I'm going to show you some balconies, some staterooms, sorry. Another look at the cabana there, another chair there, some clamshells. There's the continental breakfast. And in a second, I mentioned about the one-time a cruise brunch you get for the Terrazza. There is the menu, and I'm going to show you some pictures. Make sure you sign up early in the steakhouse for this, because there's only a certain number of places and they go pretty quick, the best times at least. Make sure you sign up. And there's some pictures of the food. And then once we're done with these pictures, we'll be on to our cabin tour. I'll start with an interior. I'll move to a Havana Cabana, Terrazza Cabana, not Havana. And then an extended aft terrazza and a wraparound premium terrazza balcony. Here we go. All right, this is cabin 5221. It's a terrazza interior on Carnival Venezia. This is the equivalent of the Havana cabins on the Vista class ships. There is your bed. A couple of USB ports. I've noticed in all these cabins they were on one side only, not one on either side. Note also in these Terrazza cabins that you do get a continental breakfast on sea days until 10 a.m. and also a one-time lunch brunch in the steakhouse, but you have to make sure you sign up for that early because it's only going to be on 1 or 2 days on your cruise, and they don't tell you about it. More power outlets there, so make sure you go sign up for that. There's your fridge. You'll notice the lips on those shelves are very low. Now this cabin also has 2 uppers. You may have noticed it when we came in. If you look up to the ceiling, that can drop down, so you can fit 4 people in this cabin. Some more USB ports and plugs. There's your phone, hairdryer, and there is your bathroom. Glass door as opposed to the curtain you may be used to, and slightly different coloring with the Italian theme on this ship. But bear in mind, you know, those lips again in here, the lips on the edge of those shelves there, they're quite low. So be careful not to balance too much stuff on there. If the ship moves at all, they could easily fall. It happened to us. And definitely not as much storage space as I'm used to, especially if you had 4 people in this cabin. If you use those bunk beds, the uppers that would drop down, you've only really got the one hanging drawer there and a couple of drawers there, one hanging closet, not hanging drawer. There's your safe. We ended up putting our life jackets under the bed to create more space. Yeah, so that's cabin 5221. It's a Terrazza interior on Carnival Venezia. And this is where it is, starboard side towards the back of deck 5. And you get 150 square feet, 2 twin beds that do convert to a king with 2 uppers, the bunk beds that can drop down, no window. You've got shower, toilet, sink, flat screen TV, telephone, 110 AC current, individual climate control, hairdryer, safe fridge, 2 closets, desk, and an ottoman seat. And be aware that the children must be 12 years of age or older to stay in this stateroom. And don't forget about that continental breakfast every day until 10, and to go to the steakhouse early as soon as possible and sign up for that steakhouse brunch. All right, this is cabin 5237, a Terrazza Cabana. There we are picking up our room keys, as it were, our sign and sell cards, because that's what you need to open the door. This was our cabin for the cruise. As you come in here, these are the equivalent of the Havana Cabanas on the Vista class ships. As you'll see, there are some hanging closets here. Definitely not as much storage space as I'm used to on these cruises, but you've got your bathrobes there. And there's one more hanging closet right there. Those shelves will lift up if you need more space, but you'll probably need them for putting stuff because there's not much room. Life jackets, safe, and only a couple of drawers. Normally you'd expect to see some under the table, but there were none on this ship. We ended up putting the life jackets under our bed to create more space. Here is your bathroom. Glass doors as opposed to the curtains you used to, but I warn you, they are not the largest of shower areas once you go inside there. Also, the lips on these, the shelving here, are quite low, so be careful not to balance stuff against the edge. If the ship moves slightly or you knock into it, it could easily fall off. Same in the main cabin. There's a couple of these shelves on the wall and they're very low lips. Not much support. There's your individual climate control. Couple of hooks to hang stuff on. We definitely utilize that on this ship with the lack of storage space. Sofa bed. There's your Havana towels, some nice artwork. There is your main bed. And again, as I've said on all these cabins I'm doing, they had 2 USB ports, but they were both on the same side of the bed. Here's the main desk, nice marble desk, more USB outlets, a couple of power outlets. And there's your phone. But you'll see, we got some binoculars, never used them. But look at the lips on the edge of there, how low they are. So not much support there for stopping things from falling out. There is your fridge. If I can ever open it. And there's your hairdryer, but no extra drawers underneath this desk, which was a bit of a disappointment, not going to lie. And obviously when you come into the Havanas, you get these extra wristbands, but for some reason we got 5. I don't know why, there was only 2 of us. I guess 5 people could be in the cabin, so they give you one for the equivalent of who could be in there. I don't know. There's your TV. Again, just to show you on this side that there are no USB ports on that side, only the other side. And here is your Havana or Terrazza patio area. It's different in many ways to the Vista class ones. They typically have 1 sunbed, 1 chair, and 1 hanging hammock, like chair hammock. Nice suit. And this one, they do have a hammock. I'll show you a picture in a second. It wasn't out on this day. And then you've got the 2 lounge chairs. So I think this is definitely wider than the ones that they have on the Vista class ships. But yeah, very different. And they have, you can use your key to get in here. So you can just tab that there and come in the room from the back. It's a nice change. And you have to remember on the curtain on the inside that there are 2 buttons behind this curtain that you have to push to open that door. It's a bit confusing at first. Yep, so there you go. So that's the Terrazza Cabana, as it were. Cabin 5237 on Carnival Venezia. And just to show you that when the hammock was up, that's when they put the hammock out. Another view from the opposite side. Now, they did say it's on request, as you'll see in a second. We didn't ask for it. They put them all out like on day 2. That is where the cabin is. The back of deck 5. Now, your amenities, deep breath. So you've got 293 square feet, interior and patio. 2 twin beds that convert to a single sofa bed. I think I mentioned 5 people in that video. It's not 5, is it? Obviously. Floor-to-floor ceiling, window and outdoor patio cabana facing the lanai, outside promenade deck, shower, toilet, sink, flat screen TV, telephone, 110 AC current, individual climate control, hairdryer, safe, fridge, 3 closets, desk and ottoman, seat, sofa and coffee table. Your patio features include lounge chairs and table. It says a hammock is available upon request from statement attendant, like I said, but they bought them out automatically on day 2, took them away when they cleaned the patios. There is a bit of a soot issue on this ship that you probably read about, and every time they cleaned the balconies quite a lot, and they removed the hammocks every time they did that. Be aware that children must be 12 years of age or older to cruise in this stateroom. So yeah, ignore me saying 5 people. In my head I was thinking there were uppers, but there were not. Just 2 twin beds and a single sofa bed. So there you go. Cabin 5237, Carnival Venezia. All right, this is cabin 7494. It's a Terrazza stateroom, the equivalent of Havana on the Vista class ships, at the back of deck 7 with the big wraparound balcony we're about to show you. So this is the main cabin. There's your fridge. Again, with all these cabins, there's not too much special about the cabin because you're paying for the balcony, and wait till you see it. There's the hairdryer, power outlets under the mirror that I forgot and that I remembered. There's a pair of binoculars there for you because these are Terrazza staterooms. Again, equivalent of Havana on the Vista class ships. And there is your bathroom with the glass door instead of the curtains. Couple of windows to look out. There's a tease of the balcony for you right there. Just a tease. A couple of chairs in here. And there's your TV. And your bed right there. Now to the side of the bed, I've noticed they have two USB ports on one side, not one on either. Be aware of that. Also be aware of the somewhat lack of storage space in a lot of these cabins. This particular one has 3. Some only have 2. I saw one only with 4. There's your safe. That's not to say there's not more, but I went into a lot of cabins and the big thing I noticed was a lack of storage space, so be aware of that. And here's what we're waiting for. Here is the wraparound balcony. Huge wraparound balcony. And there's looking down on the Terrazza area below. One thing to be aware of is there's not a huge amount of cover until you get to this end. So if it is a hot day, you are going to be exposed to the sun without shade, as we found when we had one of these cabins on the Carnival horizon. So just be aware of that. But back in the cabin again, one more look around before we back out. Nice little cabin. Again, this is a category TM Terrazza Cabin 7494, and that is where it is. The back starboard side of the ship. And what do you get? Well, you get 417 square feet interior and balcony, 2 twin beds that convert to a king, 2 windows and a wraparound balcony, shower, toilet area, flat screen TV, telephone, 110 AC current, individual climate control, hairdryer, safe, fridge, 3 closets, desk and ottoman seat. And on the balcony, you've got 2 patio chairs, table, patio, and the table/balcony partition opens to cabin 7496. Although I did also see a sunbed out there while I was doing that video, so I don't know if that's there permanently, but it's not listed there, but it was there. And in these Terrazza staterooms, don't forget, children must be 12 years of age or older in order to cruise here. And as a little bonus on these cabins, you do on sea days get a continental breakfast until 10 a.m. right in front of the main bar inside. And once a cruise, if you go to the steakhouse and go early because there's only a couple of days, they do a special steakhouse brunch for Terrazza cruisers, as it were. But do it early. They don't really let you know about it, so you have to go down there and book it as early as possible in the cruise, or you might miss out. All right, this is cabin 8488 on Carnival Venezia. It's a Terrazza extended aft balcony. Here's your cupboard space. There's your Terrazza bathrobes. This is the equivalent of the Havana on the Vista class. So you get all the same perks, but you get a couple of extras because on sea days in the morning, there's a continental breakfast right in front of the main bar in the Havana area for Terrazza guests only. And then once a cruise, as we look in the bathroom, the glass door instead of the curtains, as you'll see, in a different color marble and everything. But once a day on the cruise, go early and book it. There's a special Terrazza brunch in the steakhouse you can go to, but they don't really advertise it. So make sure that you go to the steakhouse early and put your name down, or you might miss it. There's a sofa there. It is not a sofa bed. A couple of USB outlets right there. Note they're both on the same side of the bed. There is not one on either side, so be aware of that. That can be a big deal. There's your hairdryer, and there is your fridge. Again, not much storage space in this room. Be aware of it. Sometimes you'll see extra drawers underneath this table, not on this ship. Just those closets. There's extra power outlets there. Also notice the lip on the edge of these shelves is not very high. Try not to put anything too valuable up there. It can easily fall or breakable. And there's your TV. Looking back in the room, there's your bed, and here is your patio. As I said, this is an extended aft patio, so you got that 1 sunbed and 2 regular chairs and a table. Nice little balcony there, looking down over the Terrazza area. Other cabins down below you. And there you go. Nice little balcony as we are docked in the port of Manhattan. Looking back in the room. And we're going to back out and give you another brief look as we come out the room. Again, this is cabin 8488. It's a Terrazza extended aft balcony on Carnival Venezia. Be aware of the lack of storage space if you have a lot of stuff to bring. And that is where it is, right at the back there, in the middle, circled. And what do you get? Well, you get 302 square feet interior and balcony, 2 twin beds that convert to a king. That sofa was not a sofa bed, it's a sofa. You get a window and aft extended balcony, shower, toilet, sink. You have flat screen TV, telephone, 110 AC, current individual climate control, hairdryer safe, non-stocked minibar unit, which is a fridge, 3 closets, desk and ottoman seat, sofa, not a sofa bed, and coffee table. The balcony has 2 patio chairs and table balcony. Partition opens to 8486. But as I said on a previous video, there was definitely a sunbed out there as well. So maybe they threw that in extra. And don't forget, Terrazza staterooms, children must be 12 years of age or older in order to cruise in this stateroom. And don't forget, as I said before, the brunch, the continental breakfast that they put outside the main bar in the Terrazza area down on deck 5. And also, once a cruise, go to the steakhouse early and book yourself in for the steakhouse brunch they do just for Terrazza guests. It's really good. Go hungry, but book it. They don't really tell you about it. If you don't know, you might miss it. All right, there you go. That was the Terrazza area on Carnival Venezia with some cabins added on the end. Hope that was helpful and useful for you if you are cruising on her in the near future in that specific area. A little bit more expensive, yes, especially the balconies and up. Is it worth it? In my opinion, we did a 5-day and we did a 12-day, and most people would use it a lot more on the 12-day, but I had a big group of people on board. I had to look after and help and do a lot of events and stuff like that. So we actually used it more on the 5-day when there was not so many people on board as the 12-day. But it's a bit unfair for me to say that, because I'm sure if you are cruising on your own, you'll spend a lot more time out there on the 12-day. The one thing I will say about Havana Cabanas is they're very public balcony areas. Like, there's no divider between you and the people next to you. Literally, you can see them every day. There's a little divider when you come out the door, but then it stops pretty quickly. If you have neighbors that maybe aren't quiet, you'll know about it. So, but the one thing also, a lot of people worry about people walking all the way around. But as you saw in the video, there's a door at the end. So if you want more privacy and you have the choice of cabin, like if you book early, which is what I always recommend you do, I would try and book one of the cabanas furthest away, closest to that door, because you won't get as many people walking around. If you can picture this, if you have like, I think there's about a dozen cabanas, maybe, I don't know the exact number. Say there's a dozen cabanas down there. The first one is by the pool area and the last one is by the door. If you are by the door, you've got literally nobody walking by your balcony. But if you have the one at the front, you've got everybody in the subsequent balconies that could walk past to get to the pool. So definitely a bit more private towards the back than at the front. So if you have the opportunity, if that bothers you, I would definitely recommend getting one more towards the back. That's about that. We use the continental breakfast almost every day because we don't really do big breakfasts on a cruise ship. And it was very, very handy having that right there just for a snack. We had fruit a lot of the time, or at most I had like a Danish and a muffin. But yeah, very good way to get a quick snack in you before you go on. And the brunch, it was a lot of food. I don't really recommend the burgers and stuff. It was a lot of big food, and that stuff you can pretty much get everywhere else. For us, when we had it, it wasn't even great. It was a bit dry, the burger, the people that had it. But the other things were great. So it's a really nice brunch, definitely worth trying. But try something a bit different. Don't play it safe is my point. Yeah, other than that, it was great. They enforced it really well. The bartenders were great, but then again, that was the bartenders while we were on. I try not to mention on these videos how great the crew is. I mean, the crew's always going to be great, don't get me wrong. But when you go on, it's probably going to be a different crew. So I try not to talk about that too much on these videos. But yeah, Havana, Terrazza, very similar, different layouts, very similar shape, very different layouts. Both great in my opinion. If it's in your budget to do, I would always recommend it. No kids is big. And it's a private area that never gets busy during the day. Even if it's sold out, there's so many other people walking around the ship, it never gets too busy. So that's that, and I hope you enjoyed the look at the cabins on there. With that, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, why not? Make sure you do. I need subscribers to make my ego get bigger. I'm just kidding, I don't care. But I do want more. I do check. I do check and see how many I have. I'm nowhere near the big boys, but you know, I'm catching up. So yeah, subscribe, hit that bell if you want to get notifications when videos come out. I try and do 3 a week. Mondays, I do a tips and cruising traditions video. Send me your tips, send me your cruising traditions. My email is coming up at the end of this video. I will use them, I promise. I also promise I will not read them in advance. I will read them and react as I go live, as I record. You have been warned. If you have any questions, please, again, my email is coming up. Send me your questions. And with that, hopefully you get to go on the Terrazza, or at least the Havana, on the Vista class ships, more than the XL ships. Just gonna say it. I will see you later, cruising world. Any questions? Email me anytime. cruisingsuitguy@gmail.com. I promise I'll reply as soon as possible. Want to book a cruise or any type of travel? We are travel agents. Check out our site, elitetravelconnection.com, or email me, Mick, at elitetravelconnection.com. We are here for you. Finally, subscribe, please. Pretty please. You know you want to. Go on. I won't beg you. Okay, I'm begging. Please. Subscribe. Thank you.